nice.
Yeah.
Yep, all set.
Yeah.
All right, I'd like to call the workshop to order on July 21st, 2020 at 5:07 PM. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Here.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Here, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Fire Chief Chief Edwards is excused for tonight. He had something come up at the last minute. He just called me. So we're moving on to certification, privilege of the floor. We'll skip and go to communications with mayor, including disapproval messages.
Okay.
Mayor?
I have the veto message, sir.
Okay.
Veto message, resolution number 79-2020, ratification of management confidential paralegal position creation.
Okay. Any discussion on that, council, or are you just going to wait till regular meeting? All right, seeing none, go to communications with public and petitions.
Number one, notice of petition from Demetrios Tritsakis versus the Board of Assessment Review for the City of Dunkirk and the Assessor for the City of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? I need a motion to refer to city assessor and city attorney. Richard, is there anybody else you need to set that to? Okay, Stoyl, and seconded by Bamanto. Thank you.
Number two, request from Black in Action to hold a summer event at Washington Park on Saturday, August 15, 2020, from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. for the local community so residents can connect with people they normally would not speak with within their community. Children and adults are welcome to come out and take advantage of educational and valuable information that will be provided to the public.
Any discussion, council?
We have all the supplies that they're asking for. Large tables, and 10 picnic tables, they're not going to be used someplace else.
No, I'll just refer that to my appropriate department as well as approved subject to appropriate insurance as usual conditions, but I also will send it over to police chief. You're good with that? And Randy Woodbury, Department of Public Works Director, and also who we with recreation now, is it EJ still? Okay, all right, and we'll do. I'll send it over to EJ Hayes also. Need it first.
So moved.
By Williams, second by Nichols. Okay.
Number three, ratification of request from the Dunkirk Travelers to use Promenchankle Stadium to host two games, one on Tuesday, July 14, 2020, and the second on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. This late-minute request was due to major water issues at the ball field at Lakeshore over the weekend of July 11, 2020.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to for the appropriate all departments. Bamanto.
Nichols.
Second by Nichols.
Number four, request from Jonathan Muck, manager of the Fredonia Fury 10U softball, to use Promenchankle Stadium on Friday, August 7th, 2020, from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. for a 10U A Division game, Fredonia Fury versus North Buffalo.
Same. I'll use the same appropriate all departments. Need it first. By Nichols. Second by Bamanto.
Number five, request from the corrections officer Julio DeJesus requesting to set up at the pier to conduct recruiting for the New York State Department of Corrections on July 25th, August 1st, 15th, 24th, and 29th, 2020.
Any discussion, council?
Doesn't say where on the pier.
They actually, the first request came in to set up on the boardwalk itself.
Richard, are we good with that, or them to set up somewhere down there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say probably the area where the big chair is,
Okay.
probably makes sense. A little off, so it's not going traffic.
So Rebecca, are
I think
you,
it's just set up.
Are they gonna notify the tenants?
no, wait a minute. No, that doesn't.
No, they're
like-
going on
The
the
big chair
pier.
in the grass, not the,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
in the grass.
Rebecca, are you all right with that? Did they contact you about anything?
They haven't contacted me, but I can talk to them.
Okay. So if I just refer to both of you guys take care of that?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I need a first.
So move.
Nick, Williams. Second. I need a second.
I will.
Nichols, thank you.
Writing.
Number 6, request from Jamestown Business College to use the lower pavilion and stage for their 2020 Jamestown College commencement ceremony on Thursday, August 20th, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Just need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions. I just read their memo and they seem like they got everything covered, so I'm good with that. From Bomano and seconded by Williams.
Number 7, loudspeaker application request from the Unique Car Club to use instruments, sound equipment, and microphones for a live band at the Point on September 19, 2020 from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Yeah, go ahead, Judge.
Yeah, it's just, Dave, it's just the gang that we had shots, different gang.
This is a different group. We've had this group before, and they've been very well behaved, so I don't think we'll have any issues with them.
I'm good with that.
Okay, motion to refer and Stoyl, seconded by Nichols.
Nichols?
All right, reports to standing committees, boards and commissions. Councilman Williams,
Nothing here.
Councilman Bomano.
Randy, we now got 4 lights out in that neighborhood. I sent you that one on the way here, but the other 3 I sent you earlier are still out.
I'd like to apologize on behalf of what's been happening with National Grid and install lights in several locations that didn't used to be like that. I talked to some people about it, I've escalated it, with notice to the Public Service Commission to see what they can do about it. After this meeting, when it gets dark, I'm going to be driving around with a few that are on the list to see if they've been done. And I don't think of anybody that's here in the public, you can give me a phone number, walk look at it. I know the controls look at it. We'll work together and get this
Big number on it.
safety.
Okay. The beaches look great. Tell the guys they did really good. And brush pickup in 2nd Ward last week. I mean, they got on right on it Monday. I mean, I know I had a lot of it, and they took good care of it, and Ward's looking good. That's all I have.
Okay, thanks. Councilman Stoyl,
I'm good.
Councilwoman Nichols.
Later.
Yeah, I have a couple things too, but nothing big. So moving on, unfinished business. We'll make the motion on the unfinished business, council for the veto to vote on, all right?
Yep.
And we're going to pre-filed resolution.
Number 83, resolution opposing the construction of wind turbine farms on city-owned lakefront property along Lake Erie, and that would have to be amended.
Okay, so we're gonna amend this one, at the last resolved between the city-owned and the property, we're gonna put city-owned lakefront property. So we will have to amend this and then we will have to vote on it. Is there any discussion on this at all?
Yeah, what about, this just says on city-owned property and stuff, we're opposed to the stuff in the lake, right?
What's that?
We're opposed to have them in the lake.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
This says it's city-owned.
It says on or off, offshore. Do you see that? Is that what you're
It
talking
says
about?
on city-owned property.
Along Lake Erie.
On any city-owned lakefront property on or offshore of the beautiful Lake Erie.
Is that the amendment?
Just lakefront.
We're just
I'm
putting
adding
lakefront
lakefront.
in between
That's
city-owned
not
and
the resolution I
property.
have. Mine just says on city property. That's
No,
why I'm
look,
asking.
Right, that's why we're
look,
gonna amend it.
this is
Okay.
the one, the regular resolution itself. Any other discussion? All right, new business. I'm just going to read a letter that I received today briefly, and I need a motion to adjourn. Workshop by Bomano,
Second?
seconded by Williams. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoeven?
Aye. Meeting is closed. Like to call the call the order of the regular meeting of the Common Council on July 21st, 2020 at 5:30 PM. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams. Here. Councilmember Bamanto.
Here.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols.
Here.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Here, please stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Just a real quick note that Fire Chief Edwards is excused from the meeting tonight. He had something come up at the last minute. Moving on, certification of prior meetings.
This is to certify that an official copy of the minutes of the Common Council meeting of Tuesday, July 7, 2020 was presented to the mayor on Friday, February 17, 2020. Pursuant to Section 3.03 of the Dunkirk City Charter, all items presented to the mayor now in full force and effect, with the exception of Resolution Number 79 of 2020, which was vetoed by the mayor. And witness whereof I have here to set my hand in the seal of the city of Dunkirk, New York, this 21st day of July, 2020.
Need a motion dispensing the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
By Nichols, second by Williams. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Reading of the privilege of the floor regulations. Seeing
I
no
have
one's out
one
there,
letter for the privilege of the floor, sir.
Yep.
It says, thank you. Michael Green, Wednesday, July 15, 2020. Mr. Ramos, the Dunkirk Travelers travel baseball team would like to publicly thank the City Council, Mr. Edward James Hayes, the Public Works Department, and any other city official that played a role in allowing us to use Promenschenko Stadium for the baseball game last evening. Over the weekend, we were contacted by our scheduled opponent who requested that we play our game in Dunkirk due to the field being deemed unplayable after Saturday's heavy rain. Our coaching staff contacted Mr. Hayes, who coordinated with officials in City Hall, council members, and the Public Works Department to allow us to use the use of the stadium. We greatly appreciate the quick action by all to allow this game to be played. The facility looked great, and our players were proud to call it their home field for the evening. Thank you all again for the hard work and support. Sincerely, Mike Green on behalf of the Dunkirk Travelers 12U baseball team.
Awesome, thank you. Thanks, Mike. Moving on, communications from the mayor, including disapproval messages. Mayor?
Okay. Dunkirk Common Council, City Hall, Dunkirk, New York. Dear council members, please be advised that I hereby appoint the following city residents to serve on the Dunkirk Property Maintenance Board: Marcus Buchanan, Richard Gonzalez, Denise Zentz. This 3-year term is effective July 21st, 2020, and will expire July 20th, 2023. Sincerely, Wilfred Rosas, Mayor. And I also have a veto message for resolution number 79-2020, ratification of management confidential paralegal position creation.
Okay. All right, moving on. All right, we'll move on to communications of public and petitions.
Number 1, notice a petition from Demetrios Tritsakis versus the Board of Assessment Review for the City of Dunkirk and the Assessor for the City of Dunkirk.
Any discussion, council? Councilman Williams?
Yeah, Rich, will you be handling this on your own?
No, I will not. I represented Mr. Tsoutsakis on a potential sale of the property that fell through, so I'm conflicted out. And council that usually handles those challenges.
You gotta go up to the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
I just saw Gabe.
Sorry about that, guys. No, I will not, as I represented Mr. Tsoutsakis on a canceled deal for the sale of property, so I'm conflicted out. Counsel for the Dunkirk schools, Hodgson Russ, the person who handles that, Mike Risman, specializes in those. And we've worked with him before on other tax challenges, so he'll be taking the lead, and I'll be just a liaison, but I won't have any decision-making authority. He'll be working directly with the mayor and with the assessors, with the city assessor.
Is that gonna end up costing the city anything?
It's going to be, we'll be splitting fees, so it'll be a fee share, much like we did with the lawn maintenance stuff on the last resolution for the baseball fields. So it would save us in the sense that neither party is paying full freight. We may have needed him anyway because that's his specialty, the tax challenges.
Same thing with level 3 communications.
That's correct. We worked with him last time on that, a couple years back.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else, council? Need a motion to refer this to the city assessor and the city attorney by Councilman Stoyl, seconded by Bomano. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer?
Aye, carried.
Number 2, request from Black in Action to hold a summer event at Washington Park on Saturday, August 15, 2020, from 1 p.m. until 6 p.m. for the local community so residents can connect with people they normally would not speak to within their community. Children and adults are welcome to come out and take advantage of educational and valuable information that will be provided to the public.
Any discussion, council?
Yeah,
Councilman Stoyl?
we're asking if you would provide cut grass, trim trees, set up a platform, microphone and speakers, 10 large tables, 10 picnic tables, 3 large ice coolers. We do this for, is this the norm here?
Richard?
Council, this group is brand new, so it's a situation where they don't know what they don't know. So we're actually meeting with them tomorrow to kind of just go through those items, let them know what things the city does do on a regular basis, and which they'd have to provide themselves.
Yeah.
It's just they're new, so they don't understand, what the city does versus what it doesn't do or doesn't have equipment for, like the coolers, for example.
That's the only thing I was thinking of, because I know in the past, it's just, I think they do an excellent job keeping the lawn serviced over at Washington Park, and I know that we do usually trash cans and picnic tables for people, but as far as the coolers, I just had some concerns, but if you
Right.
can explain that, that'd be great.
Yeah, we're going to work that out with them. Just
Rich, I just didn't know if it was a normal, like if I wanted to have a party at Washington Park, would I drop a dime and get all this stuff done?
not usually.
Thank you.
You could give a report back at the next meeting, because this is not till August 15th, so you could let us know.
So I need a motion to refer this to our appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions, and also police chief, city attorney, Andy
So moved.
J. Hayes. By Williams, seconded by Stoyl, being in the third ward.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer?
Aye, carried.
Number 3, ratification of request from the Dunkirk Travelers to use Promenchenko Stadium to host 2 games, one on Tuesday, July 14, 2020, and the second on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. This late-minute request was due to major water issues at the ball field at Lake Shore over the weekend of July 11, 2020.
Any discussion, council?
It's already done.
None? Okay. I'd like to, need a motion to refer this to appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions by Bomano, seconded by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer?
Aye, carried.
Number 4, request from Jonathan Muck, manager of the Fredonia Fury 10U softball, to use Promenchenko Stadium on Friday, August 17, 2020, from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. for a 10U A Division game, Fredonia Fury versus North Buffalo.
Any discussion, council? Need a motion to, refer to the appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurances and usual conditions again by Pomato, seconded by Nichols.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer.
Aye, carried.
Number 5, request from Corrections Officer Julio De Jesus requesting to set up at the pier to conduct recruiting for New York State Department of Corrections on July 25th, August 1st, 15th, 24th, and 29th, 2020.
Any discussion, council? I'm going to refer this to Rebecca and see if Julio can get a hold of you and just explain exactly where you can put. Richard, you also, thank you, and Department of Public Works, Randy. Thanks. by Nichols and by Belmonto. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl?
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried.
Number 6, request from Jamestown Business College to use the lower pavilion and the stage for their 2020 Jamestown College commencement ceremony on Thursday, August 20th, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Seeing none, I need a motion to refer to appropriate departments as well as approved subject to appropriate insurance as usual conditions, which I see they have pretty much everything in order, which is good. By Bomano, second by
Second.
Williams.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried.
Number 7, loudspeaker application request from the Unique Car Club to use instruments, sound equipment, and microphone for a live band at the Point on September 19, 2020 from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m.
Any discussion, council? Same thing, I need a motion to appropriate departments as well as subject to approve appropriate insurance as usual conditions by Stoyl, seconded by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoover.
Aye, carried. Moving on to report sustaining committees, boards, and commissions. Councilman Williams.
Randy, you might as well come on up to the microphone. Any idea yet when we can open up even temporarily around Lakefront Boulevard?
We had communication from the federal agency yesterday, and in the morning, they said everything was approved, and in the afternoon, they wanted the latitude and longitude of every stone that's out of place over there. And then we got a copy of an email from the state representatives that said it was indicated that there's an argument going on between the two of them, and I took that to mean that our advocates, all of our local representatives at the state level are working on the Washington people to say, let's get this thing going. So there's a lot of activity. All of you people have spoken to these people, and I'd like to thank, the communication you've had to show how urgent it is. I'm extremely disappointed that we can't, get this thing fixed right away. It's a safety issue. So I'm telling you that in 1 minute, they tell me I can start doing it, and a couple minutes later, they say they want something that to me is relatively trivial. So am I frustrated? Yeah. Can I give you an exact answer? I wish I could, I can't.
All right. Also, have you been able to contact that insurance company about the coverage for water mains and sewer breaks?
Yes, and we could do a Zoom meeting if you want somebody here. They're not traveling yet.
Okay. So we can set up something through Zoom whenever it's good for you. I am back to work, so anytime after 4 o'clock would work for me on any of the days.
Okay.
On Serval Street, in front of the Falcon Club where they did their new parking thing there. The city was gonna cut out and put in probably like a 3-foot width of blacktop there to match it up because it was all falling apart there. Are we still on plan to do that, and if so, when?
We're still on track to do that as a courtesy to the Falcon Club per your request. And we are right now, we're going through the entire city patching an enormous amount of potholes. And the crews are putting up to 20 to 25 tons of blacktop per day. We're unique in that we have a hot patch truck that can pick up 6 tons at a time. And I think if you go down, let me take Courtney Street as an example. Courtney Street was like a lunar surface a week ago. Now it's travelable. It's not great, but I'd just like to commend the guys, Mike Papilia for the leadership, and all the guys that are working on that machine, and with the new roller that we got, they're doing a good job. So once we get everything kind of patched, we will go over and do those other smaller projects, And I was thinking that maybe we would do Lemming Street, which isn't too far from there, at the same time we do Circle.
Okay. Also, I haven't been there to check on it since before Friday, but I'm assuming nothing's been done there yet. The drain on Sisson and North Main Street, right on the corner there, I believe whoever was doing the construction for the Stell projects over there, that they backed over it. I think that's what I heard, at least from the neighbors there. And the drain was smashed in, the cement drain there, right at the corner.
I will have our plumbing inspector take a look at that tomorrow, and I will text you the time frame on getting that fixed.
Okay, thanks.
We've had a good working relationship with Stell, not necessarily with the contractors that Stell
Okay.
had, but between us and Stell, we will get that fixed.
Okay, thanks. And you kind of already answered that. My last question for you was, are we planning to pave streets this year?
Sir, yes. I know you're back to work at the county. Is the county, you're probably acting like it's...
I came back 2 weeks earlier. There's other people, the rest of them that are out are coming back, I think,
So do you think
August
they're going
3rd.
to do flushing this year?
I doubt it.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'm sure we're going to do something, but I don't think it'll be
Right.
up to what it was before.
So the answer is, it's going to be scaled back, because with your help and other people from the county, we've done shared services, a lot of paving at very cost effective. So the answer would be, we would have to contract, what we would normally share surface would be, cost us a little more this year. So definitely we're going to do Lemming and a few others, like Grand Avenue's another one that's top of the list. So those, I've been kind of waiting for an answer on whether we're not going to have shared service, and I think I got that. And I appreciate that the answer. None of us could have predicted what we were going to go through in the last 6 months.
Right. And that's all I got for Randy. Chief, I'm guessing that you're not still planning, but what about the National Night Out? Is that something that's happening still, or is it not happening?
I spoke with the night out coordinators in the past week, and talked to the mayor about it as well. We're going to postpone it. We're looking at a date later in August, possibly, hopefully things settle down. I do want to do some kind of a program this year. I don't think we should not do one.
I agree.
We're working on it, but it won't be the first Tuesday of August. I'll have a press release out probably tomorrow or Thursday as to what our plans are, and a possible date for the end of August.
Okay, thanks. That's a good program. Been happening a long time. I enjoy going, so just wondering if you were.
I don't want to give it up. We'll get it done one way or another.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Bomano?
I'd like to thank the Parks Department and the jobs they're doing on the beaches. They're looking good, and the parks are looking good. I know we were a few months ago with those and lack of help and because of the COVID and the weather we had. And Streets Department, they picked up brush last Monday in the second ward, and they did a great job picking it up and got the second ward looking good, so thanks to them. Randy, I do have a question about the street lights going out. Can you tell the public what they can do? Because I've just noticed them in patches, and
Sure.
if they notice them out,
Yeah, Councilman, it's been an unfortunate delay in the response, in my opinion, and I don't want to bash National Grid because they're a very good community partner, but for some reason, it's taking longer to get those lights fixed than it used to. It used to be within 24 hours they would be done. There's a few that are straggling. I'm getting some good emails back from the staff at National Grid saying it's on the list, but there's one or two that are just seeming to be way too long. So I'm having a conversation with a regulatory agency to see if I can kind of nudge them in a quicker direction. So when people have a light out, if they could call the police desk and Public Works, and it's best if they can get a pole number off that pole. That way, right now it'll look like all the street lights are fine because the lights are on. You don't notice these things until it's after dark, and I'll be out after dark tonight checking on some of the ones you've given me, some of the ones other council people have given me. I want to check after dark on some of these things and get everything up to speed. So if people see them, call them in to police or Public Works with a poll number. We'll get on National Grid to get them fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark,
Yes.
how's our finances?
I'm sorry. Can you come to the microphone, Mark? Sure.
That's what I want.
Well, our cash flow is not as it normally would be. Marcia and I are working together, evaluating really day by day. There's many items that are due in that have not come in yet, so we're keeping a close watch on it. And we'll keep you updated also at a finance committee meeting as to where we stand and,
If anything comes up in between a finance committee, just get a hold of us.
Many municipalities are doing revenue anticipation notes just to get them through the time to pay bills, keep everything paid up on a timely basis. Whether we will have to do that or not, it's too soon to tell. We're watching it, so it may come to that. If it does, I mean, it's nothing out of the ordinary that we haven't anticipated.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilman Stoll?
Yeah, Dave, one of your favorite subjects. I got a guy in 6th Street's blowing up my phone, and Councilman at Large Vandenhoover's with these cars and the motor. Now it's motorcycles and these, I think the 4-wheelers too.
Yeah, the ATVs rubbing up and down the street.
Just blowing, and he's blowing the phones up, and he's feeling like everything we're saying is falling on deaf ears. I get it.
We've actually, the last week, have impounded 2 ATVs and 3 mini bike motorcycles for people that we have caught driving them when they're not supposed to. So
Yeah.
all I can tell them is, instead of calling you, call us, and we might have a car right around the corner that
Yeah.
can grab them right then and there.
Excellent.
Thank you. And then, I don't know if this involves you, or maybe we can get Al to drive around. These guys this is in the 1st Ward. There used to be an owner of these apartment houses. You know who they are. He's selling most of his property. The renters are still there. They're putting their rubbish out on Tuesday or Wednesday for the Thursday pickup. Or if they miss the Thursday pickup, it just piles up around their houses. I can give you a better location, but I don't want to.
If you could, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You know, we-
And have these, write them up. They got to do what, everybody else is doing.
We do it all the time.
Yeah. And, that was that one. And Randy. I don't know why he leaves the mic. Did Al give you that information on 1021 Central Avenue?
He will.
I thought we were going to do that last meeting. And I think it's going to involve you too, Richard, because there was a pile of legal stuff that,
We talked about that, yes.
yeah,
The one that's damming in the back.
yeah. It's somewhere along the line, and Randy, you were involved with it.
Oh, yeah.
Your name's on the papers.
I'm familiar with that area.
Yeah.
I think we could make everybody happy there if we enclose that ditch.
Yeah, they're telling me that the city cleaned it one time,
Yeah.
but when they cleaned the creek, they left the stuff from the beginning of the creek down toward the other neighbors, so it's a dam. So when the water does come up there, it floods the hell out of their places.
That's why I was thinking if we put pipe in there, cover it up, we won't have to do,
I think those folks would be happy, wouldn't they, Al?
it'll become maintenance-free.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you'll probably never get a call from them again.
No, they'll call for something.
Thanks, Brett.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Don't leave, Randy.
Well,
Randy, don't
Councilman
leave.
Nichols.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as long as you're talking about potholes, and we brought it up before, it's 9th Street, right at Main.
Right?
It goes around to Monroe,
Sure.
and then it cuts over behind School 3
Mm-hmm.
in front of the EMS.
Yep.
Just those two, Orchard Street and the foot of 9th Street.
That's part of the Grand Avenue project.
Oh,
It's
okay.
You know, it connects right into Grand Avenue. I want to reconstruct that whole area. There's
Good.
also been a request to expand the sewer system for somebody that lives over there. So we'll do that first. I don't want to put new pavement in, then dig it up and put the sewer in.
Right.
So all that's part of a plan that we're putting together to get that whole area fixed.
Oh, good. Good, thank you. I just want to make the announcement that this week is 3rd Ward pickup for Branch. Next week is 4th Ward. Would you like to expound on that a little bit, Randy, with the Branch pickup? Please?
You made him go sit down, then you call him back up again? Come on.
Well, I didn't tell him to leave. I want to keep
Yeah,
him awake.
I think Councilwoman is alluding to is that, and then what other council people have said, a couple things. The Streets Division is doing an excellent job doing the curbside pickup. I'd like to advise that in some communities, most communities, that's all they get. We have a facility at the garage where people can bring city-only material. We would like to do that regionally. We've asked the Chadwick Bay Group to take a look at that. They did an 18-month study on a regional approach to lawn waste, and I asked them for a report a couple weeks ago. They said they don't have a report yet, but they have an executive summary. The executive summary was no solution found. And I said you had 18 months to do that. And so I think that we all work together. I think we want to reopen that. We've greatly improved the brush location over at Lucas Avenue. The neighbors there, we agreed with them. We streamlined it. It's working better, but it's still a Band-Aid. It doesn't help anybody else. And we're doing a service to our residents more than any other local community. Do we have people from other communities trying to sneak in there? No, that's why we have a sentinel there. It costs us money to do that. So to get more to the point, if you can get your brush out when it's your time, and only when it's your time for curbside, it's much more efficient for us because we take it right to disposal at that point. So I think anybody who's been 1st Ward, 2nd Ward, and 3rd Ward this week, when we're done, the next time to put it at the curb is not till September. So wait your turn. If you have to do it early, bundle it up and take it up to the streets during our hours. We're not open all the time, but it's posted. And we've been back and forth to tweak that. I think the guys overall are doing a really good job. I know you've been up there to visit them and you brought them water from time to time. I'd like to thank you for doing that. So it's not the perfect solution, but it's better than it was. Did I cover?
Yep.
Okay.
Just Thursday, July 24th, we have an economic development meeting at 4 in the conference room. And I just had a phone call from Zenolo at the Conservation Club, and he wanted me to inform everyone that they've decided to cancel the walleye tournament for this year, which would be held August 6th through the 9th due to the virus, and he's just worried about safety measures for the city of Dunkirk. And I noticed in this week's paper that our beaches, there was an announcement that our beaches were open during the hours of noon to 7, Monday through Sunday. At the foot of Main Street, there is still people partying at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and they often have barbecue grills on the piece of land that has sand on it. I don't want to know if it's a beach or not, because I never got an answer on that, if something could be done on that. And over the weekend, there was a horrendous amount of people at the point that were parking on the grass, and they were all out-of-town plates. Lastly, I'd like to thank Rebecca for getting a hold of Mr. Pringle on the boat docks that were down at the foot of Main Street, and hopefully, working with the mayor and Rebecca and Mr. Woodbury, we can get that mess all straightened out. the guys are doing a great job. This morning, I had the chance of meeting with the revitalization group, and they want to thank the city of Dunkirk, the workers, for their undying effort of getting the baskets hung in the city, and our faithful employees getting them and keeping them watered, so they are looking beautiful. That's it.
All right, thank you. Just a couple things. Alan, if you could check out the corner of Newton and Main Street. They have, I see they have a trailer parked on the corner. I was coming down the avenue the other day and it was blocking the view. It was like obstructing the view of turning lane. And I see where he's got some of that flagged out in his property. I'm not too sure what they're planning on doing over there. So if you can check that out, I'd appreciate it. Also, just wanted to bring up that in District 1, Ward 1, about the trash bags also. Yeah, you know, people, I see that they're starting to bring their trash out like even a couple days earlier. I know that things are going on and, you know, they're not home and they're doing different things, but if we can try to abide by the rules. The other thing, Chief, we've just been getting phone calls. I know you guys have been doing an excellent job. I know it's crazy times right now. It's just the ATVs. They said they're riding dirt bikes up and down, wheelies and all kinds of stuff between like 6th, Main, and Park. So if we can just maybe bump it up a little bit. Also, Randy, if we could, just briefly, if we could get our hands on that speed limit sign that we have, that we share.
Great idea.
Yeah, if we can just maybe put that up, it seems like that works out pretty good. I guess we have, do you know about that, Chief?
The town of Sheridan is housing a sign that looks like the ones that are permanently in place. As you approach the school zone on Route 20 in Westfield, it tells you what your speed is. If you're going a certain number, that number is red. If you're going a better number, that number is green. We have all the communities went in and we bought one, and it's stored at the Sheridan garage, and we can use it anywhere, any place you want. So if the chief and I can work together, and if you got any recommendations on particularly where we'll get started.
Yeah, I mean, it just helped, like, when we had that one on Central Avenue, you know, it's, they got a couple guys, you know, they just don't get it, you know, I mean, I know the chief and the police have been talking to a couple of these guys, and the guy with the green Dodge diesel, he just seems like Central Avenue is like a drag race. And then he lit them up right in front of the mayor's house. You see there's a bunch of skid marks where he lit them up the other day, you know, and smoke all over the place. He thinks that's cool.
We'll get a hold of that thing. I'll get Mike a shakedown on how to run it. It does have a SD card in it, so even when it's not off,
Yeah.
it gives you a profile of what people are doing for all 24 hours or however many days.
Yep.
So we could use it for traffic studies as well.
Any of the tools that we can utilize now, you know, in these times, I know it's crazy, like I said earlier, but anything that we could help the residents out with, you know, with the speeding and stuff, and the loud music with the cars. But I tell you, you guys have been doing a great job, and you can see the difference, definitely.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's all I was going to ask you, Randy, but you already hit on the, I'm sorry.
Can I just chime in
Yeah.
real quick? I just want to answer Councilman Nichols' issue about the parking and the point. I did have a meeting with the mayor and public works director recently regarding this issue. At the time being, the temporary solution that I have right now is we do have our sign trailer that's going to be in the point, and it's going to advertise no parking on any of the grass areas. And I'm working with Director Woodbury and Supervisor Porpiglia with getting permanent signs erected. Once we get the notice that you can't park on the grass, then that allows us to write the tickets for it. So I am working on it.
Great.
Awesome.
Chief, could that go, because right now I was told before that we have more signs than we have trees starting to look up in the point. Is there a way that we could do that at the beginning of the
Yes,
park?
I spoke with
Okay.
Director Woodbury, Mr. Porpiglia. I want one sign at the entrance, by the entrance gate,
Okay.
that says no parking on the grass, you know, park rules, police enforced. Because I agree with you, because I don't want the space pollution of too many signs
Right.
in the park.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting.
Right.
You know, we put
Exactly.
3 signs up, put one large sign right at the entrance, so when everyone enters, it says you can't park on the grass, and then that'll give us the ability to write those tickets.
Same thing for the pier.
Yes.
Well, they see all the signs, so they start ignoring them.
Right.
Yep.
That's my plan, Council, that's what I'd like.
Awesome, thanks, appreciate it, Chief. Excellent job as usual. Just, I wanted to bring up the Grant Street, but I spoke to Randy about that, about the potholes, and you said that's gonna be, whole 9 yards is gonna be done over there, correct? Okay. Just wanna make sure that everyone remembers that we have a personnel meeting Monday at 5:30. Discuss a bunch of things. We haven't had one in a while. Also, I just want to drove by the softball fields before I came to the meeting tonight. They look great, and it was just the cooperation of the joint efforts between the school and the city employees, and how quick it happened. And they look great. I don't know if you went down there, Marty, also, but
Yeah,
I know you and I have been working on that.
Complimented.
Yeah. Yep. So everything looks good. And also, Chief Edwards wanted me to remind everybody of the ceremony for the ladder truck, putting the new ladder truck in service. That'll be tomorrow at 7 o'clock on Eagle Street. Just to make sure that I pass that along tonight. And that's all I have. And with that, we'll go into unfinished business, which will be the veto. Edward, we're gonna do the veto.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, this will be for the veto on motion from the mayor to reconsider number 79-220 of the paralegal position. I need a motion by Williams. I need a second. By Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto.
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl.
Aye.
Councilmember Nichols.
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer.
Aye, carried. Any discussion on this veto? Councilman Williams.
Just want to say, I read the veto, and just want to say that in one of the spots, the mayor claims that the council negotiated with the United Steelworkers. I want to say I've been involved in labor for 26 years. A lot of it's been negotiating, and council negotiated nothing with the United Steelworkers. What happened, the council asked the city attorney how to best address the council's desire to create a paralegal position legally and officially in accord with the city charter and any other applicable laws. In a vacuum in 2017, the city attorney created the paralegal position in conjunction with the mayor, human resource director, and the mayor's executive assistants. The Common Council never passed a resolution creating the position and never passed a resolution appointing anyone to the created position as outlined in City Charter Sections 4.02D, G, and 6.02G. Resolution number 79-2020 is an attempt to ratify and correct the errors made in 2017. Also, in one of the other ones from the mayor, in his veto message, he claims redundancy. Anybody that knows anything about budgets, they know that budgets are a spending plan, not an authorizing resolution. I once again call BS on the notion that passing a budget that has money in a personnel line for a position is as good as a separate resolution creating a position, giving a raise, or creating a position. I already said that. The original position created in 2017 showed the incompetence of the newly appointed city attorney, and that city attorney has continued to lead us down the same path since he has been here and continues to support the mayor's lack of transparent government. Resolution number 79-2020 corrects the errors made in 2017.
Council President, if I could just address that?
Yeah, sure.
Councilmember Williams' characterizations aside, I think there's just three simple issues that this could be modified and could resolve the issue. The first one is just the concept of having a management confidential who's also in a union is hard to get our hands around. And so I think this was rushed. I think a conversation should be had with USW and with the administration and our office to talk about that further. So I think we just need to buy some time. Two is, it's a timing issue, and just the salary bump is kind of high, and it's not even within the current USW contract. So again, that's something that's negotiable. I think if we could just change the language so it's aspirational, so that the council is requesting that the administration negotiate and sit down with USW, we can work on both the numbers and also the timing, given the current COVID budget constraints. In terms of how we do that, maybe we parse it out and do it in smaller chunks, or maybe it gets punted a little bit timing-wise, as we know that federally right now that Congress is negotiating with the president about a potential Phase 5 in the CARES Act. So that could help us a lot. We know that there's a lot of conversation being had about aid to state and local governments. We just don't know where that's going to land. So I would just say if this could be tabled, or if the language can be adjusted, and that's something we could sit down in executive session and work out the language, we can address some of the issues that are being raised. Because there's two different issues. There's ratification, but then there's also whether the position should be in a bargaining unit contract or not. And I think that's the issue that if we could separate the two, we can ratify and then encourage conversation with the bargaining unit and with the administration. We could try to work out those issues.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I have an issue on that. Back in January, under normal meeting conditions, we had a discussion on a confidential when a certain person was being relieved of their duties, and it was addressed that we should look up the meaning of confidential, because I questioned the mayor of having a confidential secretary when he insisted on having someone else there as an executive assistant. Well, I did take the time, Mr. Mayor. In Webster's Dictionary of the American Language, the definition of confidential is something that is told in confidence, imparted in secret, entrusted with private or secret matters. Now, it doesn't make a difference. When it was questioned about why you needed someone else, and you made the quote, and it's on tape unless it was destroyed, that that secretary was in a union. That has nothing to do with it. To me, that would be her job security, just like it would be job security for the paralegal. And then I want to go on and just remind you that the mayor claims the council has no role in the negotiation process. False. The mayor should look up the definition of active union negotiations and compare that to the union informational questions. There were no negotiations of a contract. The city and the USWA Local 2693-04 are currently in an unexpired contract. Resolution number 79-2020 attempts to fix the city attorney's mistakes made back in 2017. Then the mayor claims conflict of interest concerns. False. When the title of legal secretary was in the law department, decades of competent professional union workers held that title, and every one of them understood the confidential nature of the information that passed through that office. Again, it is the mayor and the city attorney's lack of support for unions that led to their lack of trust in a union person being able to keep things confidential. Third, the mayor threatens that he will file an IP against the USWA Local 2693-04. The Common Council will not be bullied by the mayor with his threats of lawsuits and improper practices, especially given the track record of his legal team. The Common Council did what council should have been taken tasked to do in 2017. If anyone broke the law here, it was a city attorney, mayor, HR director, and the mayor's executive assistant by not following Dunkirk City Charter Section 4-02DG and 6.02G. Resolution 79-2020 corrects the error made in 2017.
Yeah. Here we go.
Mr. Chairman, I think my veto message says it all, but I just want to remind the council members, and the Councilman Bamonto was a member of the Personnel Committee at the time. The discussion was had in that committee about the situation that we had. And some of the information is confidential, but both Councilman Williams and Councilman Bamanto were very much involved in the decision to bring in a paralegal and that paralegal be management confidential. I just want to remind the public that these two were involved in that decision, very much. That's all I want to say.
All right, thank
But
you.
not through resolution.
All right, anybody else, any other discussion? I need a motion to vote on the resolution.
I make a motion.
We did.
By Nichols, seconded by Williams.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl? Aye. Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever?
Aye, carried. Going on to pre-filed resolutions.
Number 83, resolution opposing the construction of wind turbine farms on city-owned lakefront property along Lake Erie. Do you want me to read that resolution?
If you could read it all, yeah. Yep, sure.
By council members Nichols, Stoyles, and Williams. Opposing the construction of wind turbine farms on city-owned property along Lake Erie. Whereas the push to find green energy sources has increased in recent years and several wind turbine projects have been initiated in other communities. And whereas there are many impacts upon Lake Erie that may be detrimental to the area should such a project be approved in Dunkirk. And whereas upon information and belief, the construction of these turbines could impact fishing waters through the destruction of spawning grounds and the release of pollutants into the water, as well as physical barriers to fishing vessels caused by the turbines. And whereas wind turbines have been shown in certain studies to have a negative impact on migratory birds, causing death to birds that make a home along Lake Erie during different seasons of the year. And whereas wind turbines may also create an eyesore along the picturesque shoreline, which is not only the reason many residents have chosen Dunkirk as their home, but also draws visitors to our area year after year. Now therefore be it resolved that the City of Dunkirk Common Council opposes the construction of any wind turbines or towers on any city-owned lakefront property on or offshore of the beautiful Lake Erie.
No, thanks, Edward.
You'd have to amend it.
Yep. I need a motion to amend this.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Nichols.
Councilwoman Nichols, second by Williams.
Councilmember Williams?
Sorry.
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
No.
Councilmember Stoyl? Aye. Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenhoever?
Aye, carried. Now we got to vote on the resolution.
Do we have this?
You want a discussion?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a few different calls from people that were concerned that we were going to be opposing this. I just want to say and get it on the record that I am for greener solutions of energy, and I am for alternate energy. I am just not for wind turbines going out on Lake Erie that will have the possibility of affecting the aquatic life. We don't know what type of damage it may do to the lake floor, and I just believe that the people that come here, that live here, and that visit the city of Dunkirk, they come here to do fishing, boating, and a lot of things on the shore, and they like the beauty of it. And what ends up happening is if they got to go out a ways and see these windmills out there, then it's kind of going to deter them from wanting to be here. And if it does destroy the fish population at all, then we also don't have the fishermen that'll like coming here and do all the tournaments that they try to do outside of COVID. So I am, like I said, I am for green energy. I'm not for green energy out in the lake. And I am going to be voting yes to oppose the construction of wind turbines offshore.
Thanks. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Rebecca wanted to.
Sure.
Council. It's just my job to help guide your decision-making related to urban planning and economic development issues in our community. And today's resolution includes your disapproval of offshore wind in Dunkirk's waterfront. I'm simply here to state some pros and cons in regards to offshore wind and my professional recommendation to council on this resolution. Some of those cons include the effects of offshore wind on marine and animal life that's not fully understood yet, that wind could be built within view sheds that may be unattractive to some, wave action could cause damage to wind turbines, and offshore wind could be inexpensive and difficult to build and maintain. Those are just some of the cons. Some of the pros as well include avoiding the creation of greenhouse gas emissions. It's a clean, renewable energy. Locally produced power where demand is high. Significant investments in infrastructure, the opportunity for thousands of short-term and long-term skilled jobs in construction, manufacturing, and operations, diversifies our electricity supply, and the possibility of a connection to our NRG power plant, which we are currently including in our feasibility and alternative use study. It's my professional recommendation that council table this resolution tonight. It's very new to the United States and especially to our community, and there's some substantial financial benefits that could happen based on offshore wind, and I just recommend looking further into all of the pros and cons, and just wanted to give my 2 cents on that today. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Marty?
I'm going to be voting no on this, and because I would need more information on this. I need the who, what, where, when, how, all that information I don't have in front of me. And the only thing I would say, if it came to somebody's residence in the city of Dunkirk, they didn't want one of them in their place, anywhere around the city, on their land or anything like that, then I'd have a problem with it. But as far as, I just don't have enough information to vote on this.
Paul, as I talked to you before, I think we need to bring in a Rich Davenport, who is very attuned to wind turbines. He spoke at the Conservation Club Walleye Luncheon last year. He is with the Erie County Federated Sportsmen, and he's on the New York State Conservation Council. And you have to have the perfect wind for these to be productive. In Dunkirk, we do not have perfect wind. We either have nothing or we have monsoons. As you can look at the docks, you can look at the damage that we've had. Until they have perfected the ideal turbine that they can find replacement parts for that would be adequately providing the electricity that we would need in the area, instead of turbines, I suggest that we direct Rebecca or someone to get someone in to get NRG fully operational for gas. Thank you.
Anybody else? Judge?
Go ahead, Judge, go first.
Yeah, listen, we're going to vote on this thing tonight, and it's just a council. Apparently, it's just going to be 4 of us. But the whole thing is mute. It's moot. Listen, we have no say in this thing. The governor has taken that power away from everybody along the lake. If he wants those things out there, they're going to be out there. But I'm going to vote yes on this just because I don't want them there. I've grown up on the lake, and I don't want them there. I've talked to the people up on the hill in Arkwright. Half the time their heads are spinning. That's just my thing.
Okay, thanks. Councilman Williams?
Yeah, I forgot to mention too, about a year ago, the Chautauqua County Legislature, in a bipartisan way, brought this issue up. Was both the Democrat and the Republican legislators that represent Dunkirk that brought this up to the county legislature, and they passed it. The county legislature passed a similar resolution, and it was a 19-0 vote. So that means everybody was in agreement with that, and that doesn't often happen in the legislature. And I believe that we're doing the right thing in voting for this tonight.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to mention also that I emailed this to our city attorney. Thanks for getting this together, and this is pretty much my idea to propose it to the council tonight. I strongly believe in this, and I think the cons outweigh the pros. And this is one thing we do have left in the city of Dunkirk is our property, the lakeshore property, and in the city waters that we have. So I know that we're going to get opposition to this, but I think this is a great stance that the council's standing on tonight and making a decision on this. And I just want to thank everybody for entertaining this during the week, and Richard preparing this also for us tonight. I appreciate it. Thanks. And with that, need a motion to vote on resolution by Nichols, seconded by Stoyl. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
No.
Councilmember Stoyl? Aye. Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer?
Aye, carried. All right, new business. I do have one thing I just want to read to everybody tonight. I received this afternoon to all involved. At this time, I am rescinding my retirement and will remain on as elected assessor for the near future. So Tommy, thank you very much for staying on for the assessor's job. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And with that, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
By Williams, second by Nichols. Clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Williams?
Aye.
Councilmember Bamanto?
Aye.
Councilmember Stoyl? Aye. Councilmember Nichols?
Aye.
Councilmember at-large Vandenboer?
Aye, carried. Meeting is adjourned.